Just like in real life, money is important within Starfield. You will need credits in order for you to buy the best weapons, the best gear, and even participate within the best activities. And by doing this, hopefully you increase your overall skill so that you're able to go through missions as well as other activities, which will then result in you earning even more money. But with this type of system, it means when you very first start Starfield, it's very difficult. It's a grind. You'll end up going through the main missions only for you to get a few thousand credits at the end. Not enough for you to buy the many ships within the game that cost 100,000 credits plus, a lot of them going up close to $1 million. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing exactly how you can hit the ground running the moment that you start this game. You could be earning a very good amount of money. But before we get into today's video, if you haven't yet bought into Starfield and you're just shopping around because you're not quite sure, after this video, if you decide that you're going to pull the trigger and purchase this game, then there is no better place than Instant Gaming. Whereas most sites, they're selling this game at full price, considering it has only just released, Instant Gaming will give you a discount. Instead of having to go and pay top dollar, you can get Starfield for a fraction of the price. If you've already bought into Starfield, but you're looking at some other games because we got some major releases over the next few months, then Instant Gaming has got you covered there as well, because Starfield is not the only game discounted. All of their services are discounted. All future games, any top-up cards for Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, you name it. So if you're interested, there is a link in the description down below. Now, let's actually get back into today's video and talk about how to earn money at the beginning of Starfield. So hopefully by now you've gone through the introduction, you've customized your character, you've gone through all the various gameplay mechanics that the game teaches you, and now you're in New Atlantis. From this point, you have a choice. And quite a big choice. There are loads of different activities that you can go through. You can carry on progressing through the main story, where you're probably going to get around 2,000-3,000 credits every single time that you complete a mission. And these missions can vary to being a couple minutes long to being 20, 30, 40 minutes. You have the choice of going through various side activities and side missions. With this, it's so difficult to understand which ones are going to be paying the most. At first, I went over to Gull Bank, where I did go and find someone, and I turned into a debt collector. These missions were very easy to complete, taking about 10-15 minutes, and I would get about 2,000 credits at the end of these. Still not enough. That was until I stumbled across something, a way in which you can make twice, maybe even 3 times as much of that, and also unlock additional activities which will make you super rich. And that is an understatement. When you first arrive in New Atlantis, you need to join up with a faction. It doesn't matter what faction, as far as I'm aware. I haven't played with every single one of them, but join a faction. Because the base rates, the lowest points of how much money you'll be able to make from these is about 5,800 credits, which is already double and even in some cases triple the amount of money that you're able to make from main missions and the various other side activities within the game. Now, how you join a faction is different. There's not a set path for every single faction within the game, but there are 2 which are incredibly easy to join. In fact, you can join them at the exact same time, which is kind of what I did by mistake. As you are going through the main story, at some points within the intro, this is where you first start talking to Sarah Morgan and you go on the very first mission with her, you will be introduced to the Vanguard faction. And it's at that point where even in the main mission, they do invite you to join, but even if you reject this, at a later point, you can always go back and go through the onboarding process. It's pretty fun as well because you'll be able to go into a flight simulation and you'll need to go through the various tests in order for you to be accepted. But once accepted, you can get some pretty cool missions and you'll be able to be paid this base rate that I was on about earlier. The other faction which is really easy to join, and this is the one that I sided with, is the Crimson Fleet, the Space Pirates. Now, how you get accepted into this is a lot easier because all you need to do is get arrested. And the easiest way to do this is to go to a place such as New Atlantis and keep stealing items in front of people. Eventually you will be arrested, and once you are arrested, you'll be tasked with speaking to the commander, who is going to put you undercover as a Crimson Fleet space pirate. Now, I said both of these are quite easy to do because I went through the process of joining Vanguard, decided to steal some items from them, got caught, also joined the Crimson Fleet at the exact same time. Now, I know what you're thinking. I said that you'll be making a ton of money, and yes, 5,800 credits as the base for completed missions is better than what you'll have to go through with main missions and also side missions early game. But this is just the beginning, because it's the additional content on top. Now, I can't speak for every faction because they're all different, and as said, we're still talking early days, but strictly speaking with the Crimson Fleet, let's just say with the name of Space Pirates, they're not really doing things legally. And once you do go through the process of initiating with them and proving yourself, you'll be invited to the Key. This is their headquarters, and from here, you'll get access to everything that they have on offer. And as you are now spending time around people who are doing illegal activities, it means that what's being passed around you is a lot of contraband. Now, even if you didn't join the Crimson Fleet, you will still come across contraband within the world. Various planets, various outposts, various ships that you come across within the universe. If you decide to take them down, you can go and check their cargo, and sometimes you will be able to go and find contraband. The issue is that if you were to go and pick this up and store this on your ship, if you were to travel in between the settled systems, your ship will be scanned. They're immediately going to detect that you have contraband on your ship. There's nothing you can do about this, not unless you're part of the Crimson Fleet. And hypothetically, even if you were, for whatever reason, were able to get through these scans, you can't really sell anything within the settled system. Most people do not want to go and deal with this illegal contraband in a heavily secure area. Now, you can find those who are happy to go and sell who are outside of the settled systems, but you will then need to go and find those locations on the various planets, and so far I haven't found one reliable. But by joining up with the Crimson Fleet, it's made life a lot easier because there are loads of people who will deal with this illegal contraband, making it a lot easier for you to A, come across it in the first place because you are around these types of people who are dealing with this actively. B, that you will be able to go and sell this because there are lots of people that deal with this as their lives. And on top of that, you'll also be able to unlock specialist equipment on your ship, which will eventually allow you to upgrade it so that whenever you were scanned, you are able to hide contraband, or at least it gives you a chance of being able to get through the systems. Now, why is all of this important? Well, contraband can sell for up to 15,000 credits depending what you have. Now, there's emphasis on depending what you have. Each item has a base value, so I believe Aurora, which is the space drug often found in the city of Neon, that has a base value of 760 credits. That's the lowest. And I believe the highest is Xeno Warfare Tech, which has a base value of around 16,000. Now, I haven't come across any of this Warfare Tech as of yet, but I've had what's in between. And what's in between is still a base value of around 8,000 to 15,000. From this point, you're then able to complete various missions for the faction that you have assigned, in this case the Crimson Fleet, and on top of that, you're able to keep an eye out whilst looting the various outposts, the enemies, and also any type of shipwrecks for you to find some of this contraband that can later be sold at a ridiculous price. If you're able to get items which sell for thousands, it makes life a lot easier to buy into those ships which start at around 50,000, a lot easier to obtain. And of course, you're on the fast track to eventually be making hundreds of thousands, potentially millions, so that you can buy the even bigger ships or customize your very own ship. This is not the best way to make money throughout the whole of Starfield, but it does incredibly well from the very first moments that you get into the game, after you complete the introduction, allowing you to build up your money, the amount of credits that you have to buy into better gear, better ships, or just upgrade the equipment that you have so that you can eventually push forward and progress to those higher money making opportunities. This is the way to go. So if you're only just a few hours into your playthrough, I highly recommend joining a faction. It can be the Crimson Fleet. That's the one I've been speaking about the most because that's the one I joined. But based on what I've heard from other players, no matter what faction you join, you'll still have the base level of missions from the faction itself, but there'll be something a little extra, something that faction specializes in. And once you go down that path, you can make additional money on top. And that's what you need to do if you're really trying to prioritize credits right now. If you enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend clicking the next video on screen. That video has been selected specifically just for you. YouTube tracks exactly what you enjoy watching and they think this one's perfect. So click that and I'll be over there to guide you through absolutely everything. I hope you enjoy.